So let's go ahead and dive in and talk about something that happened at the end of 2022. Congress passed Secure Act 2.0, and it brought in with that 90 different provisions that are going to affect retirement savers. One of the changes that takes effect in 2024 has to deal with catch-up contributions for people that are 50 and up, making $145,000 or more. That catch-up money that they contribute must go into an after-tax Roth 401k. I got to know, guys, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think in general, the advantages of the after-tax Roth 401k is that money has the potential to grow tax-free. So, we've been talking recently about, what's the best way, how to max out your 401k. And you know what? Making catch-up contributions in a 401k after the age 50 may not even make sense for people. It is dependent upon your situation. I think first and foremost, you want to make sure that you put enough money into the 401k to take full advantage of what the company match is. As we've talked about in the past show, Chaz, I know for younger workers, they can have the bigger impact in the younger years. But when you get 50 plus or 60 plus, and you're looking to kind of catch up later in life, I'm never going to tell anybody not to save, right, but there could be more effective ways to achieving the outcomes of reaching your retirement goals than just maxing out with what your 401k is. It's looking at the portfolio to try to minimize 401k fees and expenses. Mm-hmm. It's looking at ways to try to increase your predictable dividends and interest. When you get 50 plus or you get closer to retirement time, it's looking at ways to reduce the amount of money that you have exposed to a sequence of return risk, big loss early on, in the retirement years. The exact example of this is really just one more example of Congress's attack on retirees' retirement dollars, though. So if we think about this, these last couple of years that somebody's working, it's usually their higher income earning years. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of the years that they want to try to defer taxes. But here with this law change in the Secure 2.0 Act that was passed last December, they're going to be forced to put that money in that after-tax Roth IRA. That means the government's going to have the ability to tax more of those dollars now. Again, I think the Roth IRA in the long run might be a good option, but it is something that is one more attack on retirement dollars. My takeaway from this is if you're a younger worker, think about what the government is doing to try to come after your money, and make sure that when you're working on your plan, you're developing a plan that long-term is designed to keep the government away from your money. Because, in this situation, these high-income earners, they have no choice but to take the 1-2 punch to the gut and decide, the government gets to decide how much they think is their fair share once again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of implications to it. I mean, the biggest one, like you said, is the fact that the government is, again, getting their hands into our money and really wanting to control more of it. But from an application standpoint, I think there's some serious challenges that they're going to have to struggle with. And particularly, I know there's a lot of companies. We talked about it a little bit last week because it was a hot topic. But just just implementing those changes at a 401k level is going to be a little bit of a challenge. And so I know that as a result, the industry has really been kind of pushing for some priority guidance on this topic and some transition relief, because it's going to take a lot of work to put the controls and the operational facilities in place to even manage something like that. So from that perspective, yeah, it's going to be a challenge. But beyond that, like you were saying, Nolan, I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing to be requiring that people, put money into the Roth 401k, into the Roth options. It does a lot of different things for us. First of all, your higher wage earners are going to benefit more from a tax deduction, but that's based on, tax rates as they are today. And if you look at our deficit, our $1 trillion spending issues that we have in the United States, I think that taxes are probably going to go up in the future. And so it's probably not a bad idea to have some money in a Roth account. You're also looking at diversifying. So it's good. We talk about diversifying from a security standpoint often, stocks, bonds, alternatives. But then also we need to be working on tax diversification as well. And I know I've personally met with a lot of clients that have 100% of their money in tax-deferred investments. I don't think it ever makes sense to be 100% anything. definitely don't want to be in a 100% tax situation. So you're going to diversify your situation tax-wise. You're going to have some pre-tax, some after-tax money. I think those are all some good things to look at. And then from an estate planning perspective, a lot of people, maybe not, but most people don't know the advantages of a Roth IRA, not only tax-wise, but from an estate planning perspective. That's tax-free money to your beneficiaries. And so the legacy that you're able to help create and continue to build by having paid the taxes on dollars and putting them into a Roth is powerful as well.
One thing I'll add to that, guys, and it's kind of a different twist a little bit, but, the HSA accounts, the health savings accounts, the money that you contribute to a health savings account is 100% at this point, 100% tax deductible. Okay, it comes right off the top. So you're going to lower your reportable taxable income contributing. Anybody over 55 years old can contribute an additional $1,000. So right now, and they change these numbers every year, but right now you're looking at, with the 55 and over catch up, you can contribute $9,400 into an HSA and lower your reportable taxable income.
Yeah.
By $9,400 right off the top.
Well, Scott, what was the strategy that we worked with our clients where they needed Roth dollars? Their situation tax-wise was such that if we started taking income from their pre-tax dollars, it was going to create a huge Medicare increase. This is certainly something that having Roth, going into retirement and spending on Medicare would be an advantage, correct?
No question, because Roth does not count as reportable income for when it comes to health premiums. The Unaffordable Care Act or even Medicare, if you contribute and have money in a Roth IRA and start taking money out of that, it's not reportable income, which definitely helps out. I encourage everybody, if you are able to contribute to an HSA, I would contribute as much as your budget allows. If you are new to HSAs, I can help you out and understand how those work. I'm a big fan of them. It's a way to build up. I've got a couple of clients that got $40,000, $50,000 of money sitting in an HSA account. They won't ever pay a premium or out-of-pocket expense moving through Medicare with that kind of money sitting there. So it's a great way to put money aside.
Bottom line is rule changes are always coming, and it's important, I think, to talk to a professional and
no question.
Look at your situation and say, if these are rules that I wasn't aware of, how much could that be costing me now or in the future? And that's exactly why I keep listening to the show. We'll keep you updated, but more importantly, let's sit down and have a conversation.
Definitely, because this is one of those changes that looks like on the surface it's going to be mutually beneficial for both parties, both the government and the retirees. That gets to grow tax-free in the future, but they do have to pay a little bit of taxes. The government gets their share right now. Who is going to benefit more in the long run? Well, that has yet to be seen. But now is the time to go ahead and start developing a plan with a team over 50 years of combined experience. And a plan that's not set in stone, by the way. That can change and adjust as the changes come down the line to make sure that you get to keep as much of your money as possible. All starts with that phone call, 419-794-3030, or go into the website, arhq.com.